Mercedes-Benz of Stockport is where engineering meets precision. The moment you walk in, it feels calm, modern, and confident within the cars themselves. Now the Mercedes-Benz of Stockport, is the largest Mercedes showroom in Europe, and Stockport is a small town near Manchester, and today we're going to be reviewing one-of-a-kind car inside this showroom, and let's get on with it. It's Mohammed Harris here from Little Xpert, and today we're going to be reviewing the electric G class. No, not this, but that right there. The history of the G Wagon is pretty old and really famous. It's really recognizable by many people. It started off as a farmer's owner, boxy off-roader, the one to drive on grass on hard terrain. But as they've gone electric, it hasn't gone any smoother or quiet, any scared, but it just made it quiet. And it still looks like it can climb mountains, go through the snow terrain, and stand through anything it can ever do. And today we're going to be reviewing it. Now, the circular front lights, again, recognizable, the G-Wagon style you got. And on the top, you got your indicator lights. This car is really high up. The ground clearance is 241 millimeters, really high for a high-performance, kind of luxury car. And it does show it's capable off-roading ability. Now, you do not have a grille, so it's a slightly different design from the normal petrol version of the G class. You got bottom, again, more like slight design to give it, and the black color looks, classic G-Wagon. Moving on to the side profile, your massive 21-inch alloy wheels, perfect for your off-roading, driving on snow or sand, whatever you want. You got massive wheel arches covering this, and there's a lot of big gap between them. You got a nice chrome silver stand to step up, because this is a really high car to get into. You got the EQ badge, again, to symbolize its electrical performance. So you got nice the boxy car design, like just classic. It looks nice. You got rugged looking, doors. It is hard. Moving on to the back of now, again, same headlights like the petrol, and you got your massive spare wheel for your off-roading journeys. And the boot does, again, open this way, not upwards like most cars do. And again, you can see you got like a tow hitch if you want to tow cars. Yeah, this is one beast. Now let's move on to the interior. Alright, entering in the interior, it's a really high car, so it's kind of difficult to, enter. But the white interior does stand out a lot. It feels, lighty, airy, roomy in the car. So, starting off, I don't know what to start off from, but let's just start from the center console. Chrome around, we've got this nice wood panel covering, and you can just move this forward, and you've got kind of like a mouse pad kind of thing. It's an improvement. You can also use the touchscreen if you'd want to. Inside the center console, you've got a good and well amount of space with one USB-C. That's nice. So the controls are separate, so you've got a little bit of buttons to, availability, so you don't need to fiddle around with the screen like some modern cars, and especially Mercedes do. The steering wheel feels nice, grippy. You got your paddle shifters, feel nice, not touch sensitive buttons at all. The sunroof is short, however. It doesn't extend to the back. You've only got this front area to do so. The vanity mirrors are really big, nice enough for your size. You've also got like a wooden gripper, so if you're walking around a lot in the terrain, you can just hold on to this. Got really nice, comfortable Napa leather seats. They feel nice, are heated and ventilated and massaging. The glove box it's kind of small. It's not massive, but I guess you could say it's all right. The door bins are big. They're pretty nice as well. They're all right. This material on the car is amazing. You find no places of scratchiness, like absolutely anywhere. You've got soft touch on the top, on the door bins, on the bottom. You see a lot. It just feels nice. The window controls are not on the armrest, but however on the top part, so you can access and do like that. And yeah, it just feels nice in here. You got roomy Mercedes G Wagon. It feels nice, even though this is a boxy car. The center console opening is a little bit tricky to open, but you just have to, like, you know, do mechanism into pushing it in. And what you find in here is 2 adaptive cup holders. This is cooled as well. That's one good thing. You got a button here to cool the cup holders. You got wireless charging. I wouldn't say it's the best position because it's kind of difficult to see once you've got this back in here. And you've got 2 USB-Cs here as well. Yeah, it's a really nice car to sit in. Now let's move on to the back. Again, same difficulty stepping up, but they got a nice handy step up in here. Alright, let's see how it is. Legroom is good. Headroom is also fine for people over 6 foot because this is a boxy design in terms of car. The middle passenger, how do they feel in seating? They also feel nice. You've got a tiny hump. It's not that big. The foot room is so much because the showroom. It's a really wide car, so that doesn't matter too much. The seats, again, just like the front, they are supportive. You've got iron isofix angle points exposed, so you don't need to cover to take them off. And 2 cup holders in here as well. So the airplane style pockets are good. Feel premium. We've also got a screen in the back that feels nice, so you can get your entertainment in all, and it's snappy just like the front screen. Again, like the front, you got your window controls on the front, and the quality again back here is absolutely amazing. The master speakers around the car, premium, so you get a lot of good sound. But wood panel on the door bins are a little small, but they are soft. And it feels just really nice. Talking about, you've got 2 air vents. You've got 4 USB-Cs in here. I don't know why you need 4, but I guess that's a good thing. And you've got your small little air vent controls. Yeah, it's really nice in here. Let's move on to the boot. Now, the boot opening, you've got a handle here just to open this fully. And there you go. You get revealed with 640 litres of boot space. This white, again, in the back looks really nice. You've also got a load cover through. On the boot, you do have a handle. I'm not sure why you want to need on the inside, but it just feels nice. The parcel shelf extend all the way back here if you want to do that. Underfloor storage, you've got some hooks, but there aren't any underfloor storage, unfortunately. You do have some nets. Got one 12-watt socket, and you've got the same speakers back here. So the boot is pretty nice. If you want to fold those seats down, you get around 1,900 litres of space. So that is good. This boxy design helps to fit a lot of and maximize your boot space in here. Now let's talk about the electric range. Ranges of the Mercedes G-Class electric is 280 miles. Again, that is due to its boxy design, so the aerodynamic coefficient isn't amazing. Prices start from £154,000, rising up all the way to £180,000. Now, around the car, the cameras I showed you were basically for off-roading. So depending on the terrain, it raises its suspension higher or lower to maximize, efficiency and smoothness while driving on that terrain. Now, what's my final verdict on this car? Now, and in the start, I told you that it did get quieter, but as it got quieter, people thought it softened, but actually, it didn't. It embarked on a longer way to improve off-roading and electric, which no other company has ever done before, and Mercedes has done it, and they've done it with this G-Class electric. It's Mohammed Harris here from Little Xpert, signing off.